All right, welcome to Stream of Consciousness. I am Joey Bendy Straw Stout, and this is Joel Purple Umbrella Cox. So, what are we talking about today, Joel? What's our subject of excitement?
Well, we're both a year older now.
We are. We have officially graced yet another year of age.
So, do you feel any older?
I feel closer to death, is what I feel. I don't know if I feel older. It wasn't like a big change. There's certain birthdays that you just step into, and it's like when you reach like 30, you're like, oh my god, I'm 30. But like turning from 36 to 37 was like, oh okay, all right, it's Tuesday. Like it wasn't a big deal. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to phase me too much. I don't feel older any worse than I think. Like if I look back from my birthday last year to now, like I feel like over this course of this year, I've done some damage. Like my body's taken some downfall. I am not in the same shape that I was quite a year ago. But I don't really feel I don't feel like I've aged. Like I feel like I'm still the same age.
Yeah.
It hasn't really hit me that way. No.
Well, I don't
What
feel.
about you? You feel older?
Nope, don't feel older at all.
You look the same.
Yeah. Well, except for the beard.
You grew in a beard,
For the audio listeners.
which is everyone because we don't do video now.
Yeah.
For every listener,
Exactly.
which by the way, we've been having some fantastic numbers. So
Yeah.
you and you're complaining about people not responding and stuff. Have we got any feedback from anyone?
No, we did not. Other than the people who told us the audio would be better for us to go for, and it's made life a lot easier and faster.
Thank you. Yes.
And we came up with a teaser idea, which we'd like some comments from.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank some people. I'd like to thank David Snyder, Eric Newman, Joss Hickson, Dan Hockenberry, and who else?
John Stamos.
Yeah, John Stamos.
That'd be cool if John Stamos listens to our podcast and he comes in one day and just really wanted to thank you guys.
Exactly.
Thanks for thanking me. Here I am. John Stamos would be a great guest. We should have some guests.
Well, actually, I'm thinking we should do that because I know a couple people that we could talk to about certain stuff. So
We need some experts in here. Let's bring in some experts, Joel.
I know a movie expert we can bring in.
A movie expert?
Hmm.
What qualifies someone to be a movie expert? What do you have to do to... Like, 'cause I watch a lot of Netflix. Am I a movie expert?
Yes.
All right. Who do you know that's a movie expert that you want to bring in?
Well, it was a former coworker by the name of Ashley Masick. She actually was on another podcast that I listened to. She
Oh, yeah. I was looking through some of the... we have a handful of people who like our page and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me before about maybe bringing her on. She's pretty. We should bring her on. If I didn't just creep her out. Now she won't show up.
Well, I'm
maybe.
sure I can pull some favors, maybe.
Right.
Sorry, Ashley.
Sorry that Joe's a jerk. So, what have you? What did you do big for your birthday? Because I missed you for your birthday. I know you actually. Fun story. You came out for my birthday. I had no idea what was going on for my birthday. I woke up in the morning and I was dragged along to. It was kind of like get up, get ready. You didn't tell me where we were going. It was kind of like a whole surprise day for me. So we went to this rock climbing place in the south side of Pittsburgh. It was, I can't remember the name of the place. It's like Excel or Achieve or something. Don't bother looking it up. By the time you get it already 10 stories later. So we went rock climbing. We had a blast rock climbing. Although as it turns out, I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Like walking in, there was like all these different walls.
Ascend.
Boom!
Boom!
How dare I question your ability to look something up in a matter of seconds. So yeah, but we got there and it was really cool because there's probably, there's all these different walls you can climb, and I think there's got to be at least like 200 different paths you can climb up. Not that I can climb up. There's probably 6 that I was able to climb up, and after I was done with the 6, I couldn't go back to the easiest one and climb it again. But they do all kinds of cool, like you can do it just for the day, and I think we paid something like $16 or something. It wasn't expensive each. Yeah, that's it for the day. And you can climb all day long. You can they have like a yoga class. They have a weightlifting class during certain times of the day. You have to be there at the right times. So you can do that. Or I think they have, and I didn't really look into it too much, but they have seasonal passes and stuff like that too. So you can come back or monthly pass or weekly or whatever. So you don't have to do like pay a daily fee every time you want to go. So you can like make that like just your normal routine.
Yeah. So, funny story. When I was in college, when was that? It was either
2000.
no, it was 2003 because it was undergrad. It was grad school. My buddy Bernie, and then our friend Vigna. Well, you knew Vigna, I think.
Not by name, but maybe if I saw him.
Yeah, but anyway, I came back from class one day, And then Bernie goes, "Hey Joel, well, you want to go climbing?" I'm like, "Sure." Everybody goes, "Damn it!" I'm like, "What?" I bet him $5 you wouldn't go. I'm like, "Why would I not go climbing? I love to climb stuff. I've been climbing since I was 5."
I've been climbing stuff since my mom was yelling at me, telling me to stop climbing stuff.
Exactly.
I started on the back of the couch and slowly worked my way up to the fence, and before I knew it, I was climbing walls in the wilderness.
Well, that's another funny story. So when I was in middle school, we had a You ever had the small trailers that were outside of the buildings? Like it was like an add-on.
What do you?
Like you'd have the school, and then you'd have like a trailer right next to it. There'd be like a little like passageway between the trailer.
Oh,
and...
okay, yeah.
So I figured out I was tall enough that I could put my back against the trailer and my feet on the walls, and I could climb myself up like and walk up the thing. Got yelled at for that.
I was like expecting you to say you like pushed the trailer over
No.
or something.
No, I basically climbed
Fell
like
through the
I got
wall.
like 15 feet in the air or 10 feet in the however tall it was, and yeah, the teacher saw me and she flipped out because I could have fell and broke my neck. But anyway, this place called the Climb Wall in on Penn Avenue that they were gonna go to, and they gave me literally a half an hour crash course on how to tie ropes and how to belay and all that stuff in the car right up. So they saved me a 2-hour class on how to climb. So I got, quote, for the audio listeners, I'm doing air quotes, how to get certified for climbing there. And what you used to go down like every couple weeks. I actually bought gear. I have shoes, I have a harness, I have carabiners. I even had a 150 foot of rope at my parents' house that's now useless because it's probably dry rotted. But I probably blew a good $300 or $400 on gear for climbing. I used to love doing it, but no one around here doesn't. They moved out to I forget where they moved, but basically we couldn't go anymore.
The cool thing about Ascend is everything is like they have these giant pads on the floor, so you don't have to have any of the climbing
Yeah.
gear. Like, you
Well, the
just
thing
show up
is,
and you can do it.
bouldering is usually when it's under 10 feet. It has all the rock stuff.
Okay.
And you climb. Rappelling and the actual climbing part is when you actually have to get hooked into a harness, and you've got a guy on the ground. Which is kind of funny because when you got the guy who doesn't weigh as much as you do, they actually have hooks on the ground.
to keep them
Yeah.
from
So they
your
hook.
fat butt won't
No.
pull them off the ground.
Yeah. So they hook the ground, and then they hook onto your harness. So if you do fall off, you don't yank the guy in the air, and the guy can actually stop you.
So you don't Captain Jack Sparrow him across the room like a cannonball.
Exactly. I remember the one time we were climbing, and I have problems with my left and my right. So I'm climbing this wall.
You had problems with your left and right into college. I remember you used to have to stop and say, "Would you do like the Pledge of
Yep.
Allegiance or something?"
Yep.
To remember which side it was.
So I'm doing this climb about 20 feet in the air in this building, and my buddy's like, "Okay, take your left hand, move across your right hand." I just pushed off the wall. He's like, "What'd you do?" I'm like,
I quit.
"You gave me too many left and rights."
I'm done.
So the next time I go up, he goes, "Now take your letter's hand and put it across your number's hand." And he's like, "I knew it. If I said another hand's a number hand, you know exactly left and right."
That's funny. That's
So-
crazy. But that was one cool, at Ascend. They didn't have you didn't have to. Nobody was standing behind me saying,
Yeah.
"Grab here, do it." Well, Sarah, but
Yeah.
nobody who knew what they were doing was standing behind me telling me which way to go and everything. But they had a couple different walls. They did have ones that you had to hook on so you could rappel up, and you had to do where there was a couple different options. Where one you hook on and you can climb up, but it's all self-sustained. Like you
Yeah.
just hook on. There's this automatic pull
Yeah.
string something, so if you fall off it catches you, and there's no person there. But then they had the other ones where you did have to actually have one of the
Yeah.
instructors come over and work you up the line. But you had to take a little class to learn how to tie on
Yeah.
the belay and all that fun stuff, and whatever the harness and all
I
that
probably
stuff.
don't remember how to do that stuff at all anymore.
No, and I'm sure it takes all the time. I think we did it. I did it in middle school or early in high school. I think we took a trip with the school.
See, my school had a climbing wall, but we never used it, so...
Yeah, we learned how to tie. What's the harness? I guess it's just called a harness. We
Yeah.
learned how to tie a harness just out of the rope itself. Like we had the legit harnesses, but they taught us how to tie them out of just the rope itself. And you had to wrap it up and around your legs and around
Yeah.
your waist a dozen times, and it squeezed your balls together
Yeah.
so that you.
No,
wouldn't
this was
fall
just...
out.
It was a harness. Well, basically... It was like a giant belt. And then there was parts for your leg to go in. And then, you had, a leg strap. And then the strap went to the harness. You had one for both sides. And you basically had, it was like a utility belt. 'Cause you could have all these carabiners on it. And then the one carabiner, I actually have a chalk bag. So when you're climbing, your hands get sweaty. So you basically put the chalk bag behind you. So you can, put your hand in it, get some chalk, and then just keep climbing.
My hands didn't get sweaty. They got sore. They got like
Mhm.
dry and like kind of like a little callus from it. But
Yeah.
I didn't really get sweaty at
Well,
all.
it's funny because the harder for those audio listeners again, I'm doing air quotes. They're the grab the
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. The thing you grab a hold on
yeah
the wall.
the holds. They get smaller.
Did you want to try that again there, Porky Pig? What was that? Did you just have a stroke? I'm worried about you.
I don't smell toast. I think we're good. But yeah, the hand holds. That's what I meant to say. The hand holds. The actual grips get smaller. So before it's like you can put your whole hand on it. Then it gets to the point where you can just like you can put like like a segment of your finger on it.
That was when we were the ones I was doing. The only ones I could climb were the ones you actually get your fingers over top of.
Yeah.
So as I climb up, you get up and you can walk across the wall, and there's like a little ladder thing that you crawl back down. So I'm feeling kind of good about myself because there was one that I was like, I don't know if I can do that, and I grab and I struggle. I get to the top and I climb up on top of the wall, and I'm like, yeah, I did it. And on the other side, there's this other wall that you can climb, but it doesn't really have a top. You just climb up and over and across. There's this dude sideways crawling across it like Spider-Man. And he's like holding on to like these tiny little pegs. He's just pinching them with his fingers, holding on and jumping from the first one to the next one. And I'm like, now I feel like an idiot. Now I feel like I can't. I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near that guy. I don't want to be climbing the wall while he's anywhere near me because he's making me look like a doofus. But that's crazy how some of those people like, build up that strength and they can just.
Well,
crawl
they've got
there.
those hand things that you can use to actually do exercises like make your fingers
Yeah,
stronger.
like the squish ball things.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's not even a squish ball. It looks kind of like I'm trying to think what it looks like. So if you took take a strip, say like 5 inches wide,
Okay.
and then you put springs between it and put another one, but every inch segment there's like a section,
Okay.
so you can actually like exercise individual fingers, not just like the whole hand.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that. The only thing I saw was one that looked like a boob, and then I giggled like a little kid for about 20 minutes, and Sarah slapped me, and then we started climbing walls again. So
Yeah, I did a lot of research back then. Like I normally
I did a lot of research on boobs back then, so I googled exactly what those handholds look like. I spent some time on that one. But yeah, so we did the climbing, and then after we did the climbing for my birthday, we then what did we do? We went and we went back and had to drop off kids and pick up grandma to watch the kids and everything, and then we met up with you guys, and that was awesome because I did not know that I was going to run into you guys. I didn't know that we come walking in. I kind of suspected for a little bit, but then she threw me off because we were running late. We hit some traffic, and traffic was horrible because we were going to the full other side of Pittsburgh, and so we hit the traffic. And she's like, well, we're not going to make it. So she has to make a phone call. And she's like, plug your ears. I'm like, I'm not plugging my ears. I'm going to hear everything you say anyways. Like, I know exactly what's going on. Just make your phone call. No, plug your. So I plug my ears. And she gets on the phone. And I'm thinking, like, depending on who she's talking to, I know what's going down. So she says, we have a reservation for 5 o'clock, but we're not going to be there until probably closer to 5:30. And then they go, okay, whatever on this. And I heard her say all of it. And I was like, so I know exactly what you said. So I'm like, clearly we're going to a restaurant, but she didn't call. Like she called, like spoke to the hostess. So I was thinking, all right, well, I'm in the clear. Like we're not gonna. It's not. I didn't think we were gonna meet up with you guys. So when we walked in, then I saw you guys, and it was like it was a nice surprise. It was very cool to have all you guys there and get to spend some time. So we had a really great we had a great dinner. So of course she orders a beer right after I order like a Mai Tai or something really sissy with a umbrella and a pineapple hanging out of the top of it again, as is my usual. Every time that I order one of those drinks, every time I'm like I want something that's just a little bit kind of girly looking, there's always a chick sitting next to me who's half my size going, I like a beer, please. Everywhere, this is every time we go out. That's every single time that happens. If I order a beer, like no big deal, nobody cares, nobody thinks about it. But as soon as I'm like, I want something frilly, I want the thing that has a vagina in it. That's whenever there's a chick going, I'll take a beer, a dark one, and a whiskey with a back on. Like something like that always happens.
But you know what? I don't care. I don't drink beer. I don't drink wine. I drink shots. I drink mixed drinks, and I just don't care.
But we had it was a good dinner, and then we went and saw Chips. Worst movie. That was such a bad movie.
It was better than I thought it'd be.
It was what?
It was better than I thought it would be.
How bad did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. That was such a horrible movie, but it was fun because it was
Yeah.
like it was so stupid that
Well,
we
they
actually
they
enjoyed
basically did
it.
the same exact thing they did with 21 Jump Street.
Hmm.
So,
I like 21 Jump Street. I actually laughed most of the way
but
through
did you
21
watch
Jump
that?
Street.
Did you watch the original, like TV show?
You know what, I did a little bit, but I
Yeah,
really
so did I.
didn't.
But the point is, like, they took something that was kind of serious and they made it a comedy.
I didn't really get into Chips whenever it was out either. Like
I
Chips
remember
was
bits and
kind of-
pieces of Chips, and I remember
Yeah.
going, I don't like this.
It was just a little too. It was a little older than.
Yeah.
That
It
was,
came out in the
Chips came out-
70s.
Yeah, see, that was back like the only thing I remember really TV shows from the 70s is like MASH. Like that's the one that
Gilligan's
I actually
Island.
did see. Which one?
Gilligan's Island,
Well, okay, now I saw Gilligan's Island, but if they remade Gilligan's Island, I wouldn't know to compare. it to
77 to
one other.
83.
What about A Team? A Team's one that I watched like crazy. Was
Yeah,
that
but
just the 80s? Or
that was
the-
80s. That was
So, okay.
84, I think. Gilligan's Island was. Oh wait, I'm sorry, 63.
Well, there was only what, like 3 seasons
Yeah,
of Gilligan's
64,
Island.
67.
Can you believe there was only what is it 3 or 4 seasons of Gilligan's Island?
4.
That's it. It feels like that show was on forever.
A Team was 83 to 87.
See, now that was the remake of the A Team. I didn't like either. I didn't think it was a very good remake.
I thought it was okay. The thing I liked about the A Team, they actually told you why BA was afraid of flying.
I don't even remember why he was.
Because they
Like
got
in the show they did, or
no
in
in the movie.
Oh, okay.
In the movie, he gets in a helicopter with Murdoch, and Murdoch actually flips the helicopter upside down to avoid a heat-seeking missile.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I do remember that. No, I remember that. The only thing I really remember is, the when they go out of the plane with the
Tank.
and they have to steer the
By
parachute
shooting.
by shooting the tank. I remember that. And then for some reason, instead of Hannibal being in charge of the group, it was Faceman for some reason took over, and I didn't understand what was going on there. Like
Yeah.
that didn't make sense to me. But yeah, 'cause I loved the A Team whenever I was a kid. As corny and campy and as
Yeah.
goofy as it was, the movie it didn't work. For
Yeah.
Me, so, but the same with Chips. I never really watched Chips though, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what it is. If you watch it as a kid, if there's something that you enjoy as a child, and then you have to watch it as an adult, you look at it and you're like, what did they do to my childhood? Like Michael Bay ruined the Ninja Turtles for me, and the A Team was destroyed when they made a movie out of it. Chips was just a terrible movie, but I didn't care because I never really watched Chips. I wasn't like, it didn't disappoint me. My heart didn't break over it. I was kind of like, haha, that sucked. That's great. So in a way, I was almost like, yay, it sucked because we had a good time kind
Yeah.
of making fun of it.
Well, my birthday was slightly different because it was Easter Sunday.
That's right.
So Tara had a thing with Kristen's family, and she also had to play that night, so I wasn't sure I was going to see her. So I woke up Easter morning and decided to do laundry at my parents' house instead of doing it at the laundromat. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go fly my drones, because I built one for my birthday, and I also had one of my older ones. So I went to fly the older one, and it got really windy. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to give it a try. My drone was flying backwards through the air because it was so windy. So I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, I'm going to try the new one. Hopefully it'll do better. That thing cut the wind like butter. It didn't even care. So I had a good time doing that, and then I realized I needed to charge batteries, so did that. Went to my parents for dinner. Actually, I cleaned my apartment a little bit, and went out again to fly. Went to my parents, thinking I could fly to their house, and then it started raining as soon as we had dinner. So,
Oh, that's right. It did rain on Easter.
no, before I did that, I went out and saw Tara, got my birthday present, and the ghetto ice cream truck drove by.
The ghetto ice cream truck?
Yeah, like it sounds like an ice cream truck, but you look at him like this is so
It's
not
not the ice
legit.
cream truck. It's some dude with a van.
Pretty much. So we took some
You might get
pictures.
ice cream or you might get kidnapped.
So I made the joke. I know the rules. Candy first, then get in the van. So we did that, and I went over to my parents and did the dinner, hung out with my mom a little bit, talked to her, talked to my dad. Then I came home, and I think I got ready for work.
Did you have to work that night?
No, something next morning. Because Sunday nights and I get lunch right for the week.
Download your podcasts
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah, upload this podcast hopefully, but
I am now downloading our podcast because even though I've said all this stuff and I was here when we record it, I now download our podcast as soon as they're released and I listen to them on my phone now because I like doing that. Like I listen to it on my way into work and it's kind of like a nice little like I get up, I start downloading it and I get it before I have to leave.
Yeah.
And then because usually it depends on what's going on with work, but we get a lot of downtime sometimes, and it's just like this sit around just picking your nose doing nothing waiting for something to happen. So it's nice to have, and I'll go
Yeah.
through it, I'll listen to a few of them, and then we do a lot of, I get like all like behind the scenes stuff. I've been listening to them I like that I get to see them before they're released, so I get to kind of nitpick and pick out pieces that I want to. But it's all on my phone now, and I never did that before. I just kind of waited for you to pop them onto Facebook, and I was watching them that way. But I like having them as a podcast. That's kind of cool. You can do that because I never got before we started doing this. I didn't know what a podcast was. Like I'd heard of them, but I never really got involved with one or ever really listened to one. You always listened to.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with them since the beginning, but I always wanted to do one, and now I'm doing one. So.
No, I think it's really cool that we have that. We're in that media.
Did we talk about my my evaluation for work?
Which one? Recently?
Yeah.
No.
So she's like, yeah, you joined Toastmasters. I know, so your public speaking's gotten a lot better. I'm thinking, I think I can win the podcast for that one more than Toastmasters. But
it's not hurting.
No, but I am a little disappointed because last week when we I'm actually dating this podcast. Last week, whenever this one's coming out this weekend, so next day, whatever.
Wait, what?
This is the one that we're gonna actually publish first because we're caught up now.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, last week we had to cancel Toastmasters because we didn't have enough people. Had my speech all ready to go. And I was so distraught because I had it all memorized. I decided to do a speech on the camel pack because one of my coworkers went to Vegas last week and she was going to go hiking in Red Rock Canyon, which we've been to.
Yes.
So I gave her all these tips. And I was like, you need to get a camel pack. She goes, what's that? So I showed her on Amazon. She bought one. And I goes, you know what? I know a lot about packing a camel pack for different stuff. I use it for my drones. I use it for when I go to conventions. I use it when I go to, like, amusement parks. I use it for pretty much everything when I'm going out for more than, like, an hour or two. So I did a whole speech on, like, what it is, how to pack and whatnot. Had the thing down to, like, a 6-minute speech, all memorized, and couldn't do it. So.
Because it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was always next week.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I was going through all the stuff in my house, and I'm kind of cleaning up, and I was digging out just kind of spring cleaning, really, but more to it than that. Like, there's so much stuff. We are just stacked and towered on top of our own filth and our own garbage. So I'm going through everything in the house, and I'm like, it's unbelievable how much stuff we own. We have blankets stacked up for days, and there's a lot of us in the house. Like, it's me, Sarah, and the 4 kids. So you expect, like, we should have a little bit more than most people have. But we have got blankets, and when you fold them, they're 3 foot tall, one blanket if it's the big fluffy ones. So we have way too many of these things. So I'm looking at those, and then there's the kids' toys, and there's so many of those. I started taking everything, and I'm putting all the stuffed animals I put into these bags, and I stuff them, and I'm like going through and doing laundry is the big thing. I was doing laundry literally all day the other day, and as I'm going through laundry, I'm pulling stuff out. Now, meantime, it's like 75 degrees outside today. I'm washing mittens and these cats. I'm like, so she's at work. I'm taking pictures of these things, and I'm sending them to her, going, "What the f is this? And how come we haven't?" So I'm sending her all this like just hateful, just why am I washing mittens? And when did we ever? There's a Halloween costume in the laundry. There's a Halloween costume in the laundry, Joel. It's a cow. There's a Halloween. Why is this being washed? I washed. There was a sock that was so small it couldn't possibly fit anything other than a baby doll. So I'm taking pictures of these things, and I'm getting heated. I'm just worked up. Like, why are we washing this thing? This is effing stupid. And I'm throwing out all this stuff. And so she's sending me back these texts like why are you so angry and why are you cursing so much? And I'm like, because I'm angry, because look at all this stuff we have. I'm doing laundry. I did 12 hours worth of laundry, and I've been folding stuff. I folded more fitted sheets than you should even possibly ever own. I didn't know that you could make this many fitted sheets. How did we accumulate this many fitted sheets? Like, I have a stack just unbelievably tall. So I'm losing my mind. I'm like, my heart is pounding into my throat. I'm so angry that I'm sitting here. Because you ever try to fold a fitted sheet? It's horrible. Do it 30 more times. That's what my day was like. So I'm angry beyond belief. So I'm sending her all these messages, and I'm just like heated, and I'm like, this is absolutely absurd. So she sends me back this, how come you're this, that? And I'm like, because I folded fitted sheets because of this. And like, I can't even comprehend what's going on in my world now. Like, words won't come out of me. The kids are like, Dad, and I'm like, you don't damn what? Stupid. And they're like, I just want to know if it's cool if I have some chocolate milk, Dad. And I'm like, don't just burn her. And they're like, those weren't words. And I'm like, I can't make words anymore. That's how frustrated I am.
Hold on. Did Brody come to you? Hey, old man, you having a stroke?
Brody was like, he was thinking of stuff. He's sitting in the corner, scratching his chin, going, "What can I come to him with now?" I can tell he's mad. You know, what can I add into this? He thinks it's funny. He's giggling to himself. I'm so angry over this stuff. He's over there, kind of like, "All right, maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, Dad, can I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And I'm like, I don't. Fine, yes, do it. And he's like, I don't really want one. And I'm like, just whatever you want, do it and get away from me. Come back whenever I have some, because I was washing like all of their clothes also. Now, and we expect to have a lot of laundry. That's just a thing we do. You can't, like, we go a day. There's 6 of us in the house. One day, it's like what, 4 loads or something. Like, I don't even know. I can't do the math on how much clothes we accumulate over the course of a week. But the point is, we own too many things. Like, there's so much stuff that we own. So like, I send her all these messages, and she's just like, so she's mad, right? Like, she's like, you're just being a jerk, and like, and she's right. I was being a jerk. She's not wrong. I threw out all this just hate and that was in my heart, and I had to get rid of it somehow. So she kind of like became my verbal punching bag. Like, through text, I sent her all this stuff, but I have like stuff stacked to the ceiling. Like, we have stuff that's just like laundry that was all, I washed everything. I mean, like, I did everything. I washed all the laundry. While I was doing that, I was also doing the dishes. Every single dish was clean, was put away. I went through and reorganized the cabinets. I was doing cleaning off counters and wiping everything down. Like, I cleaned the house. So then the next day she gets home late that night, so I'm already at work by the time she gets up in the morning. We don't see each other. I come home from work, she's already gone to work. I come home, get the kids. All right, we're cleaning more. So I start cleaning more and more stuff. So now I'm still worked up from all the stuff yesterday, but we kind of had a little bit of that text message back and forth, like, why are you such a jerk? And I was like, all right, I'm a jerk, whatever. So I start cleaning more things. Now there's more. Like, there's laundry appeared again out of nowhere. Like, we had it hidden somewhere. Like, they were like, it was like on reserve, like, just in case we need more dirty laundry one day. Like, my mom used to keep an extra can of tuna fish just in case there was a tuna fish emergency when we were kids. Like, that's what's going through my head, was that just that psychotic, unnecessary, why do we have this stuff on? When I said bring down all the dirty clothes, I meant all the dirty clothes. So now I got a whole nother like 3-4 baskets of stuff, and she's like, this stuff was clean, and she put dirty clothes on top of it, so now I gotta rewash things that were already clean from before, stuff that we haven't washed since the last time we washed laundry. So I'm like, now, like, it's all boiling back up into me. My blood is just bubbling over. My ears are turning red, and I've just got hate in my heart. And I pick up my phone, and I'm ready to send her a text, and I'm like, I'm gonna change the tone this time. So I send her text, like, instead of sending her like all this mean, just why is this, how come we didn't, blah 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 blah, I start sending her to these like lovey-dovey text messages. But I'm sending her text messages that are, they're all nice and they're sweet, but at the same time they're also kind of like, I'm insinuating how horrible this is, that this is all going down. So I'm sending her things like, here, let me go into this one. I said, I did not pick out the bed sets to throw away. We still have a few, too many. Could you choose just one backup set for each bed? The rest can go away. Don't forget, keep just one each. XOXOXO. And like, she does not get text messages like that from me. I don't XOXOXO anything. I XXX sometimes, but I don't XOXOXO anything.
Which one's
ever.
which?
I don't know. XXX is definitely something dirty. You can Google that one. You'll find all kinds of fun stuff.
No.
X's and O's, hugs and kisses. I don't know which one's hugs and kisses. I'm assuming X's are kisses, because if you Google XXX, you'll know why. So I'm like sending her all these like really nice, sweet messages instead. I'm like, put a couple stuffed animals in the living room. Can you go through them and pick out the ones that we absolutely have to keep? Love you, thank you. And like, that's what I'm sending her. But there's 12 garbage bags full of stuffed animals. 12 garbage bags full of stuffed animals. Who owns that many stuffed animals? That's insane. There's no reason for that. So I'm sending her all these like little lovey-dovey I love yous and XY, XXOs and all that stuff. And just a little small box of toys. Go through them whenever you get a chance. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Kisses. And things like that. But meantime, that way whenever she comes home, she's going to see all this mess, and she's going to go, oh, he wasn't saying I left a couple boxes of toys. There's 7 boxes full of toys. There's too much for any person to really own. So I'm thinking, I got all this stuff. So I wake up the next morning, because I did all this work, and I'm getting ready for work. And and I open up the refrigerator. I made some spaghetti the night before, because on top of doing all the cleaning, I also made dinner for the kids and made sure that they brushed their teeth and got into bed on time. being a parent, like I'm not boasting that I did what a dad's supposed to do. I did my job, but I open up the refrigerator and there's a container. There's a styrofoam container with a sandwich inside, and my heart is just like it just ached, dude. I was like, I've been such a jerk. I've been such this shrewd, horrible person for like the past couple days, and I've been so nasty and mean with her. And here she is. She's like brought me back a sandwich, like something to take for lunch, so that I can have a nice day and I can relax and I can enjoy my lunch. And I open it up, and there's just this chicken sandwich on this unbelievably looking, this beautiful sandwich. It had like the toasted bun and all the fun stuff, and it was some kind of crazy cheese. It was like something that was cool. It wasn't like a normal. It wasn't like here's a sloppy burger from the joint down the plate. It was a good sandwich, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I take it out, I put it on the counter, and I'm like, I gotta swallow my pride now, and that's the walk of shame for men. Like this is where we as men kind of have to. We get this mentality of, oh God, I totally screwed up, and now I gotta go up and I gotta apologize and I gotta tell her I love her, and then I'm sorry that I'm being such a jerk. So I come up the stairs, and I was like, every step is a mile long, and I'm like Sisyphus, just pushing that boulder up the hill, like I'm waiting for it to roll back down and squish me. So I get to the top of the steps, and I turn and I go into the bedroom, and I'm like, that sandwich in the refrigerator, because that's my opening line. Is like I don't want to say I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like I'm easing my way into that one. I'm kind of like working into the shallow end. And she looks up and she goes, "That's for Bailey. Don't touch it." And I went, "Fine, then I'm leaving for work." And I go downstairs and I slam it back in the refrigerator, and I grab my leftover spaghetti and I'm out the door. Yeah, that's the way that morning went. And she works late, and she works a lot, and she does so much, so I can't really give her a hard time over the stuff that she does or doesn't get done. She does a ton of things, so I'm not beating her up over it. She if anybody in the house is lazy, I just was expecting a thank you or something. I was expecting her to go, "Hey, you did loads and loads of laundry, and you cleaned so much of the house. I love you. Thank you," is what I was hoping for. Instead, I got, "You're a jerk. I brought our son home a sandwich. Don't eat it."
Awesome.
Yeah. That's so.
Here's getting older.
Yeah, right. Happy birthday. Well, we got to wrap this up. That's enough about us. So thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us next time here on Stream Conscious. Joel, take it away.
Are you having a stroke?
I think I might be. That's all, folks.
Join us again on Stream Conscious Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We are on Facebook.com/Stream Conscious Podcast. We are StreamConsciousPodcast.com. We are Stream Conscious Podcast on Twitter. And I believe that's it.
I love how sultry smooth your voice just got after I went on my tantrum. I'm over here yelling about stuff, and you're like, "Man, if you could join us next time." We went from like rock show to easy listening there. All right, we'll see everyone next week.
Deuces.